Hi, everyone. Welcome to the sixth AA podcast for the fall 2021 semester, where we'll learn more information on how to navigate the accounting world one asset and liability at a time. My name is Emin, and I'm here with my co-director Shalom, Paulina, AA's Executive of Operations, as well as Joel Ramirez, AA's Controller. Today, we're going to be talking about the important aspects an accounting major would want to know on the road to becoming CPA certified. With that being said, I would like everyone to introduce themselves. I can go first. My name is Emin. I'm an information systems major. My graduation date is in December 2022, and I'm currently the co-director of media and president of MISA. My hobbies include computer building and troubleshooting, physical fitness, and astronomy. I joined AA last semester to improve my networking skills and meet new friends.
Hi everyone, my name is Shalom. I'm currently a pre-accounting major. My graduation date is in spring 2023 and I'm currently the co-director of media. My hobbies include designing logos and making small crafts. I joined AA last semester to network and also make new friends.
Hi everyone, my name is Paulina. My major is professional accountancy and my graduation date is December 2021. I'm the executive of operations for AA Fall 2021, where I oversee the marketing and media directorships. I was the student development director in the previous spring semester. My hobbies include traveling and spontaneous adventures. I joined AA in fall 2019 with the hopes of making new friends and networking out in the accounting world, which both I have accomplished thanks to AA.
Hello, my name is Joel Ramirez. My major is accountancy as well as information systems. My graduation date is spring 2022, and I'm the controller for this fall 2021 semester. I've held previous positions as a director of student development and the executive of alumni relations. In my free time, I enjoy sports and other outdoor activities. I became involved with AA because AA helped me so much with my recruiting process and navigating through the beginning stages of my career, and I want to pass on everything that I've learned to other students.
Thank you for the introduction and for joining us today, everyone. We'll be going over some of the main points in the process of passing your CPA exams to hopefully simplify the undertaking and relieve some stress. The journey towards successfully passing your CPA exams can take many years to accomplish with numerous challenges along the way. A dependable way to approach your exams is to break down every stage with steps and tackle them one by one. The first condition requires you to fulfill your education requirements, which Joel can go over in detail.
So in California, to sit for the CPA exam, you need a bachelor's degree, which is 120 total semester units. This includes a minimum of 24 units in accounting, 24 units in business as well. But luckily, if you're part of the CSUN accounting program, all of those requirements will be met, but just by taking the default classes to get your degree. However, those requirements are simply to sit for the CPA exam. To get your actual license after you've passed all of your exams, there are additional requirements, which includes a total of 150 total semester units with additional accounting units and 10 units in ethics. That can kind of be a lot to remember and a little bit confusing, but luckily there's a bunch of handy guides that you can find online, and you can just check the classes that you've taken and see if you've met the exact requirements. But the basic thing that's the most important to remember is 120 units to sit for the exam, 150 to get your license. Additionally, there was a new law passed effective January 2022, where students can send in their transcripts 6 months early and begin studying for the exams before they graduate.
As you heard, with the passage of the new law, you can start the process of sending in your applications 6 months early, which would hopefully give students more time to get ready and study.
That's really great news. Students are highly encouraged to use those 6 months wisely. Joel, can you go over some study techniques you would suggest using for the exam?
Yes, so studying for the CPA exam is going to be very tough. You have to set aside lots of time and go over the study materials for at least, I would say, a month for each exam. My recommendation, if possible, is to take some time off once you graduate before you start working full time, to put 100% of your time towards the exam, because the best way to study is 8 hours a day, 7 days a week with a high level of focus. I know that taking time off work is not a possibility for everybody, but if you can, it will help a lot, because becoming a CPA is an investment in yourself and it's a really tough achievement. So you want to be able to put your maximum effort towards the exams. Each exam has a recommended of 80 to 100 study hours per section. So it just takes a lot of time. And in terms of a study strategy, there really is no trick. As long as you have your study materials, whether it's Becker or Rogers CPA or whatever materials you use, they all work well and you kind of just follow what they recommend. The material is long and incredibly boring, so you just have to kind of push through it and just give it as much focus as you can. You might have to make sacrifices and skip out on some things that you might enjoy, but like I said, it's an investment in yourself and it will be worth it. I can talk about the exam order as well. There are different philosophies, but my recommendation is to go from the hardest to easiest. You'll be the most fresh at the beginning and be ready to take on the challenge. FAR, or financial accounting, is widely considered the most difficult section, so I would recommend taking that one first, followed by audit and then regulation, which are pretty even, and then BEC, save it for last. Although if you're already familiar with another subject, let's say you know a lot about audit, you might find that one the easiest. So you could kind of switch up that order depending on what your knowledge base already is. And this strategy does not work for everybody. If FAR intimidates you at first, then maybe starting with an easier one is a better strategy for you. But I always recommend people to get the hardest one out of the way first.
Thanks, Joel. That's a good study plan. Creating and sticking to your study plan will greatly improve your chances of passing. Also, make sure you have put enough hours of studying before the 18-month rolling window starts ticking.
Great point, Shalom. We definitely want to touch on exam format and how accounting students should schedule the exams. Joel, can you touch on that topic?
Yes. So the first step is you apply online with the California Board of Accountancy. You send your electronics transcripts, and they're just going to ensure that you're eligible to sit for the exams. Once they find that you're eligible, you'll get an authorization to test, or the ATT, which gives you 90 days to select which sections you want to sit for, and you pay for them as well during this step, which is $225 per section. Once you pay for your sections, you get a notice to schedule, which is valid for 9 months, which means the exams that you paid for, you have to take them within that 9-month period, or else you forfeit those parts and you lose the money that you paid for. So that's why I would recommend to not pay for all of your exams at once, because if you don't think you can finish all of the exams in 9 months, then you're going to be losing out on a lot of money. But if you do think you can finish them all, then go ahead and pay for them at once. I would recommend just doing 2 and then 2 exams later. But it just depends on how much time you have and when you think you can finish them all. So you're allowed to take a CPA exam section as many times as you would like. But if you fail the section, you're going to have to wait until the next testing window to take it again. So the only risk of failing, other than having to pay again, which is a pain because it's so expensive, is the 18th month rolling window. That means from the date that you pass your first exam, the time starts and 18 months begins, and you have to finish all of your exams within that 18th month period. And if you don't, if you hit 18 months and you haven't finished them all, the first one will expire and you'll have to take that one again. So it's definitely important to finish all of them within that 18th month window, because you do not want to be retaking exams. It's another reason why I recommend taking the most difficult one first, because once you have that one out of the way, the time limit is less of a concern.
That's very important information to keep in mind when planning for the exam. Are there other parts students might not have heard about?
Well, I actually recently discovered that there's a fifth exam, which is the ethics portion, as a requirement for the CPA license. Joel, what can you share with us about this ethics exam?
The ethics exam is very different from the other exams. It's a lot easier, it's online, and you can take it from home. It's an open book, and you can use the study materials while you're taking the test. For this ethics exam, you also will be able to take it 6 times. You'll have 6 chances to get 90% or better. And like I said, it's open book, it's online, you can do it at home, and it's just a lot easier than the other ones. So I would not stress about this one too much as long as you just put in the effort. It shouldn't be too much of a worry.
So besides passing these 5 exams, there's also work experience that is a requirement to obtain the license. What could you share about that, Joel, and what suggestions would you have to balance studying and working at the same time?
Yeah, so there is a work experience requirement to get your license. It's 1 year of accounting experience, which is approximately 2,000 hours, which needs to be signed off by a licensed CPA. The good news is once you pass all CPA exams, they will never expire. So you have basically an infinite amount of time to get that work experience. That's why I recommend taking some time off work once you graduate before you start working full time so that you can really focus on studying, knock out as many of the CPA exams as you can, and then try and get that work experience afterwards. It's also important to know your limits when it comes to working in the CPA exam. If you think that working an 8-hour day, maybe even longer, 10-hour day, and then coming home and studying another 6 hours for the CPA exam, if that sounds like too much, then don't put that on yourself because you're going to end up drowning yourself in stress, not being able to put out your best work for whoever you're working for. And then you're probably going to fail the exams anyway because you're just working too hard. You're just overworking yourself. So I really recommend trying to get the hardest ones out of the way before you even start working because it's just really tough to do both.
I'm definitely going to use your advice, Joel. Balancing work and school can be very challenging. So with the CPA exam passed, is there anything students need to do to maintain the certificate?
Yes, the CPA license expires every 2 years, and you have to do 80 hours of continuing education during these 2 years to keep your license and the CPA title current. These requirements are met by doing approved CPE courses, generally self-study and video type learning courses. Anyone can do these courses online, and they're not particularly rigorous, especially after going through the intensity of the CPA exams. They're nothing compared to that. They just take a little bit of time, and they kind of keep you updated on the new things in the field and make sure you still know about the field of accounting.
Thank you, Joel, for giving us honest feedback on all of your questions. It is much appreciated and will go a long way in helping our accounting majors. Well, everyone, this wraps up the final podcast of the semester. Shalom and I feel very honored to have been the host for this semester's insightful and informative podcast. I myself have learned a lot from professionalism to details about how to succeed in my endeavors. I want to thank everyone who participated in our podcast, and I hope this one helps our viewers gain valuable insights and confidence to tackle anything in their way. Please feel free to contact us with any questions at media@aacsun.org, or you can leave a comment down below. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to hear more about upcoming events. We hope you enjoyed today's podcast, and thank you so much for listening.